Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a Trickster video. Today, my plans took a different turn as behavior has dropped patch note 7.4.2 on us, and the bug fix patch attempted to fix Trickster. As you can see on the screen, they decreased the base time between throws to zero point 0.3 seconds. It was 0.33. Increased the main event throw rate multiplier to 66%, was 33%. Increased the main event active duration to 6 seconds, was 5. And reverted the time before laceration starts to decay to 15 seconds, was 10. Um, of course, if you're on this channel, you know I probably had to test it. And let's actually talk about what I tested it with. I tested it with this build because, quite frankly, this is what I tested him with last time. Pretty much because you're a 115 with a 32-meter tear radius now for both of these, standard and uh, testing still. Jury's still out on this. I sometimes it gets good value, sometimes it doesn't. But for the add-ons, they're a little bit different from when I was last testing. This time we went for waiting for you watch to increase the duration of main event by 0.4 seconds for each blade hit while it is active, and memento blades decreases time between blade throws by 10%. Why did we do this? Well, for the add-ons, people won't stop telling me that, man, Memento Blades really makes that much of a difference. It's great, it's grand. And then for this, I've always kind of liked this as a backup to what I used to run all the time. And well, since I'm not running those anytime because they got changed, Fizz Spin Soda got changed, and with main event procking more often, I don't need to reload nearly as often. So I don't go for the Melodious Murder. So this has been kind of my go-to with this version of Trickster, like it was in the good old days, I guess you could say. But how do I feel about Trickster? Well, I'm going to do something different again. If you have been around lately and, you know, been looking at all of my Trickster rants and whatnot, I appreciate you because I've been a Trickster main for a while. I'm not going to do what I did last time where I talk about it here. I'm going to now go over to gameplay, and I'm going to be talking over the gameplay. So instead of quiet gameplay, we're just going to go to my usual gameplay in the background while I discuss version of doing things. But I wanted to show you all the changes that they made on the patch and kind of the build before we get into gameplay. So, see you over there. Alright, so, Trickster. He's been touched once more, and most of the touchies this time were for his main event. That doesn't sound right. Yeah, it's that it exists. If I'm being honest with you, the add-ons wise, I do think that if you're going to be playing Trickster now, you are better off just focusing on add-ons to make the main event. Like that's the problem that I'm having with this iteration of Trickster is that the power seems to be main event, not the fact that you have knives before it. And even when you have main event, outside of waiting for you watch or the other one, I want to say Lucky Blades, but I can't think off the top of my head, where you are extending main event per hit, then you're kind of at a loss. And if you are using either of the add-ons to increase the base duration, I guess, but I still feel like you'll get much more mileage if you just make sure that you are hitting knives during main event. And I don't like that. I don't like that Trickster now feels like main event is the thing to be not just another part of the roster. Because yes, that it's like treating it as an Oni, but you have a very limited demon dash, and you can get access to it more frequently. But even then, it's almost no guarantees that you're going to get it down. You're going to get a health state, maybe, probably, but you're not actively getting several downs, and I think that's what behavior wants. But that's not what I want. What about my needs? I joke, I kid, but truly, main event doesn't feel that grand. And I think that there's a lot of copium going on. Does he feel better overall? Yeah, because, anything, if you buff anything, it's going to feel slightly better, right? So I think that's besides the point. But how much better? Not enough better. You're still going to have the same issues that you had yesterday for the majority of it. But there's only slight number increases. I've seen a lot of clips, and this is funny because by the time I got in to actually test the Trickster changes, I had seen like 4 or 5 clips, I think. I don't know. I saw a couple where it's just like, oh man, they're doing it now. He's overbuffed again, and I'm just like, then why do you only have one hook in this game, and the door is open? Like, what are you doing here, right? Like, what is this? So it's very perplexing what people are trying to tell one another at this moment in time. Don't get me wrong, he's not as bad as he was literally hours ago, but he's not significantly better. And that is still kind of an issue. I do think that being 115 plays a part, but I don't know if you'll be able to tell in this game. I'm no longer going for knives at every instance because it takes too many still, and the throw rate is still not viable to try to be old Trickster and get him down like you have a ranged chainsaw. I've kind of been leaning more into the I guess you could say slinger playstyle of making sure that you try to get a hit first however you can, right? Like whatever the easiest option is. And I know I talked about that in the old iteration of Trickster pre-PTB and everything, but I think more than ever, I should say, more than ever, you need to use the fact that you are 115 to your advantage, because when you pull out your knives, you get slowed down. And despite what other non-Trickster specialists might tell you, do not run cage start shoes. It's a trap. It is a trap. Which is what I think Memento Blades are also, if I'm being quite frank. I believe this is high levels of copium and placebo effect on this. I didn't feel some massive difference with them, but I mean, what else are you running in that slot, if I'm being honest? Well, I'll tell you. I do think Waiting for You Watch and Lucky Blades are the ones to go. I want to say it's Lucky Blades, might be wrong, but you just want to extend the duration of main event with each hit. And the other one, I'd say extend the base duration of main event, because quite frankly, now you are playing Trickster differently. Where, funny enough, I was actually going to record a Trickster video, but I then got the notification that a patch was going to go live, and it kind of threw my idea out the door. Because what I'm understanding, and what I thought I understood, is that, well, now you kind of fish for the M1 because you're 115, right? If the basic is there, go for the basic, and then try to finish them off with knives, or if the knives are there first, then put them down and go for the basic. You kind of mix it up. You play a little trick on them. Ho ho ho! I'm playing a character, right? Like I think that's what to lean in towards, as opposed to, well, I have these knives. I'm going to get all my downs with these young knives. I don't think that's it anymore. But with this update focused more on main event specifically, I now think that you kind of, where I would have said aim for getting a down with knives, I think you have to replace that with aim for getting a down with main event. People previously talked about 99ing main event. Oh my gosh, it takes so long. Then the really good tricksters 99 main event. No, they didn't. And no, we don't. No, we don't. Nobody. Now, mind you, that's a little bit more arrogant of me to say that I'm one of the better tricksters, right? I don't really want to put that narrative out there that I think I'm top dog on it, on him rather. But nobody's. You're not 99ing main event pre PTB, and you're not doing it now either, right? That doesn't really make sense because main event is still main event. It's very hard to get value from it consistently. However, I think now more than ever, main event plays a bigger part to your power because of how often it happens. And so, what do I really mean by that point? Well, unless they're just giving you the down with knives, it feels kind of like a trap because you've slowed down to get 8 lacerations into somebody for them to take an injury, and then they get the speed boost and they're gone. And then the way that you would go about downing them again is trying to get 8 more knives into somebody to get them down. All the while you are slowing down, they've had a speed boost after getting hit. Now, what you should practice is, as soon as you get that first injury, if it's not clear cut that you're about to get the down, put your knives away. Especially now that you're 115, you catch up a little bit quicker. However, 8 means that you've slowed down for throwing for quite some time, and they're just making distance on you. So, right? Like, I don't. It feels like you're punished for using your power more than anything, unless it's just there for you. You do feel like you are now. Hey, you know what? Actually, I take it back. Now you are exactly Bubba and Billy. If you are just going for your power nonstop, well, it might be a bit of an issue. But if you know when it's actually wise for you to pull up your knives, your chainsaw, and kind of not have to play the tile like a basic M1 baddie, versus when you do have to play the tile as an M1 baddie, I guess that's what you are now. You're Bubble with extra steps, but a bit more range. But you've kind of always been that, but now you are slower than that. I don't know how to describe it. That's just how it makes sense in my brain. But hey, he's better. Am I in love with it? No. No, I'm not. I think there's still some work to be done. And I do think there's a lot of copium because anything better than what we just had is better, right? So that's my 2 cents on it. Tell me what you think about the update. Maybe I am too cynical and pessimistic. Maybe I'm too harsh because I know what we could have had and what we've had in the past, but I don't know. It doesn't feel great for me right now. And yeah, tell me what you think. So, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment from me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.